Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all well. I'm going to have a look at 1.5 and zero point 0.5 cover at Hanover in a minute. I'll talk you through that one. I'm just setting a sheet up because there's a topic I want to discuss this afternoon. Let's just say a few hellos and hope you're all well. Who have we got? Jorgen, good afternoon. Damo, hello. Patrick, hello. Dylan, hello. Up the well yesterday. AG47, hello. Ian Fincham, hello. John Huggett, hello. BK, hello. Chris, hello. Jim, Jason, Ken, hello. Phil, hello. Mahimaj, hello. Alex Rendell, first time you've joined us for a while. Good, hope you enjoy it. Carl Dennis, up the Green Army. Dear me, and Headmasters in. Chris Osborne. Ken, you just keep saying hi. Oh, you say hi all and hi me. I got you right. C.S. Bonjour. And Mark Manfield, good afternoon. Right. Where should we go first? Let's do the game. Hold on a minute. As always, sheets everywhere. Another seamless project, but let's open up the day sheet on advance for today and have a look at these kickoff times. So, right, I'm just going to filter them and I'll share my screen. Let's just put that there, all the usual. Feel free to ask questions. Right, let's share this screen, talk you through this in a minute. Present, share screen, window, in a second. Yeah. Let's make it a bit bigger. You can see that. Right, so this is just our standard data sheet, our FTS Advanced Prematch data sheet for today. All I have done is filter it down to cover times that we're on air at the minute, 11:30 through till 1:30. So 11:30 we pick up the half times in the Dutch games that kicked off at 11:15, the Italian game, and then through to these German Bundesliga 2 kickoffs I'm going to have a look at in a minute. Danish Superliga that I personally wouldn't be bothered about, nor Austria, because they are in second phase, as is Belgium. And I don't personally trade those games, as is our little pointless league. So all I'm ever doing when I'm doing this is just reducing, I put in the newsletter this week about trading, is reducing things to look at. I'm cutting out noise. I don't want to get involved in. One of the things, the guy in the testimonial this week spoke about it, but I get a lot of emails on that. How do you avoid other games? It is a discipline. It's a skill. Somebody put in the Telegram group just this morning that they're just doing the home wins because they find sitting, checking prices, having to sit there and check prices is a distraction for them. And I come back, those who did the webinar, you've got to do what suits you. If having a load of games up, sitting here checking prices leads to temptation to having other bets, then don't do it. I'm very disciplined in it, obviously, and have been for years, but that it is a skill you've got to learn. All I'm doing is taking away noise. So by getting rid of those games, I've got my list down instantly. And all I do is remove them. So there's no temptation to look at them. There's no, that one might be some goals in it. I just completely take them out of the equation. And then I take the columns that I don't want. I'm not cared what country. I don't do anything on league. I don't do form on advanced. I tend to use it for ultimate, not this. But I'm going to leave my total XG up there for the minute. For my first half, I'm going to go and get the match XG. So again, I'm just getting rid of columns that can distract me, cause me to veer off what I'm looking to try and do, and I'm going to do exactly the same for the season. Just like that. So all I do is hide them, get them out of the way. Don't need to see them. Not interested in them. Match XG and hide that. And I don't need any of that. And we'll leave some odds up whilst they've changed just for comparison. So I end up just creating a sheet there now where I've got the bits that interest me. I've obviously need the match details. I don't need the season. We know what that's in, so I can get rid of that. We need the time of kickoff. League's helpful to try and find it, obviously. Our games. And then my first focus gets drawn to these here. So obviously we've got some promoted teams. When people quite often ask, and again doesn't help to refresh why we have NA here. These are promoted teams. The Calorie were promoted last year, so we haven't got enough data to create a season XG goal number for them. If they stay in the league, they'll get a number next year. As with Elversberg, I think it was a Morbiata there, and Vastrus. haven't played 6 games in Sweden yet, so they've just started. So again, a new team into that league. So they're games again that we just want to ignore. I don't get involved in wanting to punt them at all. I might look at 6-game XG and ignore that for the fact that we're pretty much to the end of that league and there might be something here. But the one that stood out to me is Hanover. Hanover has been, there's these 3 games are about to kick off now, and I've talked about this recently. We've built a database now where we can look at what the market does, get it accurately. The Elversberg over 2.5, one of my big drivers is odds on over 2.5. All these 3 games are. Elversberg has been backed in since this morning. Hanover has been backed in since this morning. This Vayen game has drifted like a barge. So you've got great XG there, 3.67, but the game has drifted from 1.59 to 1.71 for over 2.5. I'm not fussed about whether a first half 1.5 market or that moves, because those markets they're not very liquid, so it wouldn't take much to move those. But when the over 2.5 market is going from 1.59 to 1.71, I'm not saying there won't be over 2.5 goals, but it's something that I look at. And now we've got consistent data and a database of historic data to look at, that I go, actually, I don't really fancy that game. But this Hanover game has been backed in 160 to 1.55. We've got a nice season XG half-time number and a match XG number, 1.88, 3.53. And what I'm going to do now is get up our database. He says here. I'm going to come back to that one. That's something I was just going to show. I'm going to show you in a minute about forward testing and people diving around and diving in too early. But if we just go to our season XG model here, price on season XG, and I'm looking at the first half number. So those of you FTS Advanced, column BB, number filters. Let's do 1.5. We want it back over 1.5 goals or 0.5, greater than 1.55. We go over 2.5 and mark that as odds on. So again, I've applied 2 filters here so far, 101 to 1.99, over 2.5 goals, and a season, the half-time season XG, so the first half XG greater than 1.5. And if I fly along now and have a look at the returns, you can see in these games now, even in the 2.5 market, 40 points up in the 2.5 market, wins in the over 3.5 market, wins in the, look at the first half goal, 0.5, wins 178, laying these games in 178 there, 47 points back in the first half goal, and win 60 points in the first half 1.5 market. Then you can start to filter that a little bit more. So you may want to filter by the over 1.5 odds. This is where our filter of monitoring the odds, which is something that we're going to be sharing through FTS in time. I'd look at that and go, has the over 2.5 been backed in? And of course, we can go to leagues, and we know if we go to leagues, for example, I don't know, but I might look stupid. I'm going to go Dutch Erste. I'd have a fair chance. Yeah, Dutch Erste, there's 380 bets, and we know that it's hard to win money in that league, just because everybody overbets it. So you can then go down the sort of league route and start having a look and see what it does. We are going to German Bundesliga 2. Well, we've got 164 games in German Bundesliga 2. 33 points profit, laying 0.5, 10 points. Obviously, it's shorter odds back in over 0.5, and it pretty much breaks even. But I can tell you, I haven't got it on this sheet, but as I say, we'll be introducing FTS when the over 2.5 gets backed in during the day. That makes about 20 points profit for about 80 games. So that is a game that I like for the over 1.5 first half goals. With a 0.5 cover later at 20 minutes on. So I'd start off back in over 1.5 first half goals, drip it in through the first 10 minutes, and then trade if there's no goal by 20-25. If a goal goes in, you can green up or remove your liability. If you get to 20-25 minutes and it is 0-0, then you can back over 0.5 goals at odds round about 2. The key element to that is where I started. I just started with 2 filters, over 2.5 odds on and season match XG. And those of you with FTS Advanced, those season numbers, I talk a lot about using the 6-figure, and that's why I've done it on this. Those season numbers, particularly the first half, are a very strong indicator for building systems. So if you want to have a bit more of a play around there, those of you who've got FTS Advanced, and use that BB column. Or what is it, BB in the database? I think it's BB in the day sheet. In the database, it is BB. No, BF, that column. Oh, no, wrong one, sorry. We'll get there. Another seamless production. That season, it is BB. Yes, sorry, I was right. BB in the database column, BB. That is a very good indicator. That there, and obviously the match XG as well. But a lot of people say to me they struggle to win in the first half. This is a really good indicator, this column here. And I've got 2 or 3 systems built with it myself. So that's that Hanover game. So Bayern nothing. They're going to kick off any minute now. Hanover game, it's 2.36. It has been back slightly the first half, 1.5. Over 2.5 has gone from 1.60 to 1.54. So that is a game. And the Bayern game, the big drift, as I say, I know people, you can do it yourself. You get the sheets with the price in the morning, you can see. But I'm going to talk a lot about this over the next couple of years, what a big difference that this could make to your punting. But Hanover, Paderborn, being backed in, good first half XG numbers, good match XG numbers on the season model, good league for it. So you can get yourselves all excited with that one. And while that game is kicking off and playing out, I'm going to share some other stuff with you. Hold on a minute, I need to set my sheet back up again. Stop screen, ask questions. I'm not sure what that means. What broker do I prefer? I use Emmanuel. Afternoon, Derek. Afternoon, Darren. When big drift. Is there a second part of that, Tamer? Have I missed one up there? Or you just type in random parts of sentences now, my friend? Hope you're well. I've been going through emails this week. Obviously, as some of you know, I've been away, funeral and family bits. SV Vane, yeah, big drift. He is just typing sentences in parts now. I'll put the full one together in a minute when he finishes it. And I've been going through emails. A lot of the emails I get this time of year are similar. We get the ones. How does the stats impact when managers change, i.e., Liverpool next season? It'll get priced in. Mahimaj, obviously, people will be tentative at first. Liverpool will still be better than certainly 14 teams in the league. And then it doesn't take long for the markets to work these things out and price them in. So I don't have a view. I mean, I've talked about this. I can't tell you what impact Arnie Scott will have on Liverpool, but the market will tell us pretty quickly. And obviously it'll be results driven, style of play driven, all the stats behind that, goals they score, goals they concede. It will soon do that. But I think anybody sitting trying to work it out without really sophisticated models such as Star Lizard, you're going to struggle. But part of the getting back to what I was saying, I get lots of messages about this time of year. Following process, changed a bit, done this one hasn't worked out, whatever it may be. So I end up looking at a lot of those and looking at what people do, trying to help them. 2 things I say. One, I think people do far too much tinkering, try and be involved in everything. And I've sort of said, I think I've said to people that you become really good at 1 or 2 things. That's what I did. I repeat myself so often. I get fed up saying it, but I became really good at laying the draw, just 1 or 2 things, and accept that it doesn't always go your way. All these things, nothing is ever going to be in a dead straight line that way or that way, whatever way you want to do it. Upwards, everything has humps and bumps in the road. It doesn't matter what field you're in, what field in life you're in. That is what happens. Then commit to a trading plan and execution and cut out all the other noise. But one of the things that people do is react. There's some stock. Emmanuel, I think you've got the wrong channel, so we are football trading, so nothing to do with stocks and shares or whatever else it is you're talking about there. The BB, Mark, just to answer you, so I'm answering question, reading this answering question. I go, BB's a really good indicator. I use both, Mark. I've got systems built on the 6 game and the BB, but I think people don't. I think people, where I've talked a lot about the 6 game, people tend to bin it off. It's a really good column to have a look at. But one of the things that people do is they react on too small a data. And what's happening? I'm just going to show you something. I test loads of stuff. So I set up a test literally at the end of the month. And on the first few weeks results, I'm just going to set it up here. Just get this, just I've got a load of columns rather than you watch me item, not just items, so we've got the right data. Okay, so don't buy shares in Spurs. That's a fair comment. Yeah, I wouldn't either. So let me just share this screen with you. Right, Carl, stop laughing. You've got flipping Spurs players down in your green army. Those German good Bundesliga 2 games have just kicked off. Right. Let's go. Where are we? Let's share this screen, talk you through this. Oxo, we're making gravy now. I don't know what's going on. I do not know what is going on. Every day is a school day. Share. Okay, so this is a test I set up literally at the end of April. So I've got my eyes at this time of the year. I tend to get my eyes already on next season. So I set up a lot of tests and things that I want to look at. Thought it was a stock. Very good. I got it. Very good. So I only set this up on the 22nd. Basically, I've got a sheet that this sheet runs and scans what I ask it to do. So I've asked it to look across the XG markets for certain criteria and pull out bets in the over 1.5 market. You can see it's pulled out. For some games, it's pulled out 3 or 4 bets because it looks at all 4 XG models. So it gets me a lot of games very quickly. So you can see from the 22nd of April, which is the first day, 9, that's 10 is when this sets this up. If you don't believe me, let me clear that just so you can see. I only set it up on the 22nd. But I'm going to take May out and show you 22nd of April. It's backing over 1.5 goals, and in 200 bets, it won 25 points. So 260 bets. So it's about 10% backing over 1.5. I then pull in the FTS advanced results sheet. So I pull in the whole sheet so I can look at other markets and if I want to add different other filters into it. But this is all just purely XG based. And you can see here, it won these games. They won 34 points back in over 2.5, laying under 1.5. So this is literally in 8 days. If I said to you, I've got something that wins 80, 90 points in 8, 9 days, I've got 87 points profit there, laying under 1.5 goals. So we've got our 25 points back in over 1.5. So they tie in. So I know that's right. But 87 points there. I mean, even if I took out high prices and I said lay less than equal on those 6, I've got 55 points in 200 games. So you look at that and go, you know, a lot of people, if I put this on FTS, just imagine if I'd gone in and put after this, at the 1st of May, I'd gone in and said, here, guys, I've got this. You can basically back anything. You can back over 2.5 goals. You can lay under 1.5, back over 1.5. Doesn't really matter what way you go. You can back over 3.5. You can back over, lay over 4.5. You can back first half goal, 68 points, lay in a first half goal, 24 points back in a first half goal. 22 points back in over 1.5. So all ends up, what I've done there has been winning. And the easy thing to go is I've done a weekend of that now, and I'm going to have a look. And Oh, I love this. 1st of May, I'm starting here. I've run out, I've done a couple of 100 games. And then you go to May, and we were 25 points. And you can see instantly we're 9 points down, and everything starts to fall apart. Now, the facts of the matter are clearly that first couple of weeks, I mean, you lose 20 points there, laying 1.5. You do still win over 2.5. Is that first couple of weekends' performance was against the norm. It wasn't real life, but people get all excited and think, oh, we've solved it. Now, one of the ways that you can check performance of your systems is purely by using the market. So I'm just going to set that back on April there. And we got fantastic results as I've just walked you through. And I've got from the 22nd of April, if I just expand that, just want to be fully clear, 22nd to the 30th of April. So I've got 8 days there where I would have had 200 odd bets and it would have made that money. But if we go to the FTS advanced results sheet and we go, all I'm going to do now, when we've got all the years on here, I'm just going to go to April. It might be a bit slow while it filters this. But it selects all. I'm going to just select exactly the same dates. Not pretty quick. Getting quick at these sheets, Alistair. So basically what I've got here I've got a list of games. Here I've got a list of games that I've asked the database 1-0 Hanover. There you go, see? It's like shelling peas, isn't it? I do try and help you. If people listened, we'd be good at this game. 2 filters, that was. BB over 2.5, 1.9, and then dig around a bit from there. Don't need to over filter from there. Just check certain leagues, as I showed you. Holland, put it in the bin. USA, put it in the bin. So here I've basically got, whilst I've got multiple bits in the game, I've literally gone and asked my database some questions looking at our 4xG numbers: 6-game first half, 6-game match XG, season first half, season match XG. In effect, it's an individual system for each one, and it just puts them all in a sheet for me. And I've got these fantastic results for this period, and I go, wow, that's exciting. This looks really good. I'm going to start betting this in May, and then I started doing my conkers. But a good thing that you can check with your system, whatever market you're in. So the market I was looking at here was first half 1.5. Whether I backed or laid, I set it up as a back, but obviously if you want to lay the market, you can. And I've picked exactly the same dates, but I've included every single game. So we've now got about 300 games there. So I had 200 games, but some games I've bet twice or 3 times if I had, if I'd actually been placing bets. But you can see here, look, the over 2.5 in that period, blind, every game won 24 points. The under 1.5 won 53 points. The over 1.5 won 15 points. I actually wasn't, whilst my results are a bit better than that, and it's in a smaller, because I've condensed it down by there, I'm not actually beating the market by much. So one of the things I always do when I think somebody looks good, the thing I'll go and do is look at the market overall, because in effect, it could just be, we know that this market overall, if I clear the filter on it, exactly what I'm talking about, when the market overall loses 1,000 points and 300 points over the life of the database, we know that is going to happen over time. But again, it's not just a constant downhill slide. It is, some weekends are good, some weekends are bad. It just so happens that period at the end of April, the market in a whole couldn't get a handle on the 1.5 market. Teams overperformed, more goals were scored, all the things that I've talked about over time. But just when I get, particularly if I get results that look too good to be true, the first thing I will do is go and look at what did the market do as a whole. And if the market was massively down and I was winning, I'll go, here we go. And I've got something I can work with here. If the market is up, and that's quite a big up, 50 odd points in 300 games, laying 1.5 blind, you'd be over the moon. And you can see that it doesn't continue. But people get a little bit excited, so people tend to get into these things and get far too carried away and dive in. And checking the market, basically all we're trying to do is perform, not against each other, not against teams. We're trying to perform against this market. That is all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find in that 382 point loss, 2-0 Hanover, only took 11 minutes. have a week off. Carl's asked, is it better to lay or back? Again, Carl, that comes down to mindset. I personally don't like backing really short odds, so I would tend to lay in that market. It's exactly the same bet, to be fair. It's not, pennies in it either way. But I'd rather lay and risk 300 on the lay side to win a point than back 300 at 1.32. It's just my mindset. But I think that's because I came from a lay the draw background, so I just got into doing that. I don't mind backing prices over even. So when I do my late goals, 80-minute goals, which I'm going to sort of hopefully share on FTS going forward, I back. When it gets to sort of 2.2, 2.3 or 80 minutes, 81 minutes, that's when I tend to back those. But these markets, I personally prefer laying. But it is just a thing. Give us a like and a subscribe, everybody. And if you're on Hanover, a double like. Let's see who was on the Hanover bet. Come on, own up, speak up, send me commission. But this is when people are building systems and things. This is why when they filter too much, just checking your performance against the market overall for the period you're looking at is a really good test, because if the market is winning overall and you're winning, it could just be actually you've hit that market at a period where the variance in these results will be the same as the variance in any other system. There'll be other periods in here where it's 150, 100 points in a weekend, and there'll be periods when it's absolutely been decimated. And exactly the same if you're losing. If you look and go, actually, I've had a bad weekend, just have a look at the market. I've talked before about average goals and things can affect you, but look at the market. If the market's been pasted overall, ideally with commission, these markets should pretty much break even. This tends to be the 2p commission that you filter away over time. So if you've been beaten up in a weekend and you go and look at the market as a whole and go, actually, the lay the draw market this weekend was just really bad. It cannot continue forever. That could not possibly. My first thought when I saw those April results in there was, well, that's too good to be true. That cannot possibly go on. Where other people would think, I found the holy grail here, I'm going to start to bet this. And then instantly they'd go into May, going, Jesus Christ, I'm in real here. I will personally run this right through the summer into the start of the season, and I'll have a look at it at the September international break. And there'll be some bits in here that I've been, and there'll be bits in here that I will take forward, almost certainly. But it's that I've done the research in the background of past data. Now I'm taking it into forward data. But if you get good results early, you've got to try again and find reasons why, as opposed to diving in. And how often do people dive in at the top of something and then they lose money because it starts to revert back to where it should be? And that's what I'm saying. This here is, to be fair, I think most of it was over this weekend. If I went to May and just did the third, fourth, fifth, fourth and fifth, we're on, aren't we? You can see, 12 points. I've done 12 points yesterday. So, it's a real key element of looking at what the market does overall as well into how you perform, how your personal betting is performing. But the key is to not have too many filters, to not chop and change. I think if you get into the thing of back testing and then forward testing, that's when you can tweak it a little bit, rather than back testing, dive straight in betting. You end up having a bad thing and you just bin it off altogether and go and do something else. Or somebody in the chat room says, oh, he's doing this. I'm looking at, I've said this before, I'm anonymous in a couple of chat rooms. I'm looking at guys betting a system now that I know doesn't work. I know 100% it doesn't work, but they're talking it's in another site, another chat. They're talking as if it's the holy grail, because they've had exactly what I'm talking about. They've had last week, they'd have had 5-6 great results, but long term, it 100% does not work. And that's the way you do it, through build your data without too many filters, forward test it and check it against what's actually happening in the market, because we do fall into lucky spells. But you need those. If you're betting in the 1.5 market, you do want weekends like that. I'm hoping that it absorbs that up and it'll absorb this loss. And overall, this will come out in front with a couple of tweaks. There's 4 models in there. It may be that 2 of them go in the bin, 2 of them I keep. But the only way you know is to forward test it and check it against that market, what is actually happening. And the great thing, I think one of our massive advantages is this gives you everything and every market in one place, and you can click and have a quick look. Just like I did, just literally checked a few dates and went, oh yeah, well the 1.5 market won massively that weekend anyway. So I'm not actually outperforming it by that much. I've not found the holy grail. I'm not going to tell Sam to go and buy a house in Monaco. We'll just hold our horses a minute, and we'll be moving to Ireland. Right, any questions? We've cleaned up at Hanover. So nobody had a bet at Hanover. Oh, Carl did. Carl's the only one. Carl's the only person who had a bet at. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I think you've all had a bet at Ireland. I don't think I'm talking to myself. I think you've all sodded off. So we've sort of covered two very quick topics there of building a little trading list, using and that's the key. Get rid of the noise, get rid of the bits you don't want. And then we're all moving to Monaco on it. Chris was there. Here we go. Here they come. Oh, AG was waiting. Which is a fair play. As long as you do it every time and you don't change it because you think, oh, I missed out on a couple, I'm going to wait longer. As long as you do these things every time. Any questions about what I've just shown you? There's no good numbers in the. We've got Osasuna Betis or 1 o'clock Malmo game. I might have a look at that actually in a minute. Elfsborg. Not part of my plan, boss. Like it, Dylan. Lovely. Mr. Walsh waiting. Goal in Holland for the Gaza. A lot of goals in Holland. Someone told me one. Great day that was. Right, I just got to check a couple of my sheets and nicks. I think I've got. That can go. Let's see what the market's doing in Elfsborg. Thank you, Pat. I think that, and I do appreciate that part. Things like that for me are common sense. I think if you get away from the focus of I'm trying to win, as in I'm trying to be right. I'm trying to be right that there's over 2 points. You get away from that and you move your mindset into all I'm trying to do is use the numbers on that sheet, those markets to make money in amongst them. Rather than saying, I knew there'd be a goal after 8 minutes, or I knew there'd be 2.5 goals. All I'm trying to do is negotiate those markets. And over the time, as I've done more and got older, more experienced, my attitude to risk has changed. So I don't like, I've got fixed odds systems and ultimate where I lay up to 6. But when I'm trading, I'm looking to have these even runs. So I love this bet, this first half 1.5 bet. I love games late on. 80 minutes where I'm back in again, 2.3, 2.4. All right, Carl, take it easy. Well done yesterday. Please, you stayed up. My good lady being from Devon. One for the Devon boys. Yeah, good luck next season. Let's hope you do a little bit better. Give us back our players. Have a lovely afternoon. Right, Elfsborg's on our webinar sheet. It's Elfsborg being backed in. Let's have a quick look. It is, yes. Right, so let's go here a minute. Hold on a minute. Just gonna. Can you borrow a song? He's been absolutely terrible. Did you know John Lennon would be? Yes, that's very good, CS. I've heard that one. You watched Darwin Núñez shoot today and score. You can have Son. Carl, he's done. He's finished them. Been a fantastic player for Spurs, but I think he's a bit of a busted flush now. He's been very, very poor this season. I think he's played a lot of football, to be fair. His trips to Korea and things. But what text here? Hold on, sorry, guys. Yeah, I thank you, Mohammed. I didn't drink at all. No, I kind of just didn't really have a birthday. I'll be honest. I just kind of binned it. I didn't feel it wasn't right. Here we go. Are we cyberbullying each other? Well, we might be. Right, where am I going? Here, let's get this here. Just waiting for another sheet to open up. If I can find it. Yeah, it's that one. Over 2.5 on Elfsborg, 1.75 visualize, shortened up. I'm just opening a sheet, but it's a fairly big one. So I'm just going to set this up for you. So it's just taking a little while to get open this one. Right. Okay, let me share that. Hold on a second. Right, let me share this screen here. Where are we? Present. There we go. Share. So this is one of my analysis tables here. Again, it's set for all dates. It's set for any home team. You could make it. What were Elfsborg odds against? So I've included all home teams 101 to 1000. Over 2.5 odds 101 to 1.99 odds on. And then we've got a you can see here I've got a feature now that tells me if a price moves in or a price moves out. As I keep saying, this will come through FTS in the future for you guys. But if I just set that, basically an asterisk includes every game. So we get 16,507 games. And you see how you get this sea of red here. Look at this. It's just absolutely, every single market gets absolutely battered. If I go to my over 2.5 move and say, show me games where the market moves in my favour, so where the market fancies goals, nothing clever about me here. I'm basically saying where the people in the market who are much cleverer than me, where you think during the day they've backed that outcome, they've backed over 2.5 goals because they think there's going to be goals in the game. And I'm basically, now you see how that sea of red, look at this first half goal market here. So 116, 116. So if you go to Sweden here, there, see 116.86, but 23 points laying under 0.5 first half goals, just where you've got any home team, odds on over 2.5 in the morning. The market backs it in. All of a sudden, we turn these. Look at some of the turnarounds of these. So if I put that again, look at this 116.86 for a first half goal. If I turn it off, loses 154. So if we put it on the drifters, minus 191 points, minus 293 back in 0.1 first half goals, where the over 2.5 moves. So if you combine XG numbers, our model numbers, with price movement, then you can see, you say back in what time is that? That's from when we produce the sheets in the morning. So it's from the FTS. The FTS Advanced Daily sheet has a price on it. So this pre-match sheet gets the prices filled in when it gets published in the morning, and then it's when it moves in from that price. So those of you on FTS Advanced can do that. Everybody else, if you look between 7-8 o'clock, just see if those prices drift in. But as I say, this is a feature we're bringing to you. I've now started implementing it into pretty much everything I do, because we've been able to get it consistently, and I've been able to go back and get the historic data, and exactly tie it down to exact times and go, right, that's what I'm looking at. But it just see the massive difference that it makes there. So, and it doesn't mean that every game that drifts, again, when people say that, like that Vayan game, massive drifter, I think there's been a goal. There may well be more. It may well end 8-0. But hit over, everything I look at is law of large numbers. When you look at it in big instances, you see the difference that made there. That turned a 195-point loss in that first half, 1.5, what it is, into a 91-point win. And then you can just implement your XGs into that, implement a bit of league filters, and you don't actually need to do much more. And that's something that I'm going to be sharing a lot, certainly with the guys I work with first, and then we'll be making it a bit wider. 3-1 in 27 minutes at Hanover. See what I mean? Who was on the over 2.5 first half goal? The over 3.5 first half goal. Oh, Alistair was. He was loading up all their markets. Right, any questions? If not, I'm going to leave you for the afternoon. I'm going to go and hide behind my sofa while Liverpool batter Spurs this afternoon. As always, if you can like and subscribe, leave us some feedback, always welcome. Give me some emails as to things you'd like to see. I think we're getting to the end of the 30 that I said I'd do. One Elversberg. Oh, no, it was the Vayan game that drifted. 0-0, wasn't it? It wasn't Elversberg. It was that game being backed in. It was the Vayan game that drifted. Vayan Holston killed 0-0. There you go. Don't think that you're cleverer than market. Use the numbers again. Check the market overall for your result. Thanks, and up the villa, dear me. They're going to be unbearable. The only thing, I don't mind them actually getting top 4 because I think they deserve it and they've done well, but they're just going to be unbearable. Thank you, Dylan. Yeah, it is good being back. I feel more normal now. Didn't enjoy that grieving period and funeral setting up period. I have to say, it wasn't not a lot of fun. Hopefully you learned something there. As I say, I'm not going to disappear now. We're going to do a load more, but I want to try and make it more specific that things people want to see. So if there's things you want to see, as opposed to just tips, I know people say, yes, some winners. There's plenty to come, but yeah, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your bank holiday. I didn't even realise it was bank holiday. Drop us in some stuff you want to see. I don't know whether there's any football tomorrow. If there's football, I might jump on tomorrow, but I'll drop a link in the room if I do. Have a lovely weekend. Liverpool supporters, be nice to me. Yeah, let's go and hide behind the sofa. I'll maybe see some of you tomorrow. Take it easy.